Hello, here is group 4. What we did is the human factor research of the public toilet. The toilet is everywhere in our daily life. We just use that to collect and discharge the human excreta. So here has some different functions in this figure. For example, we can use the toilet ring as a seat to sit down, use the cover to protect and isolate, and use the flush button to control the water to flush. So here are some other details shown in this figure. Here are some other components of public toilet, like the locks, hooks, and the toilet paper box. This page is about the classification of different toilets, and our aim is about the siphon flush toilet in the common public area, and some items that people may need to interact with that. This page about the real product measurement by ourselves. We can see here has the specific seat depth, the height, and the hip weight. Before we did any further researches, first we're just going to find some second-hand researches, and this one is in the Taiwan area, and this data shows the standard some details of their people, and compared with some data from the Western country, the Taiwan's data is more similar with what we test in Beijing City, and this data is about 10 years ago, so it's still reasonable. Those data could be the sample and compare with what we did in the further research, so I will just go through that quickly. The data in this page is different from our results because what we measure is just from beginning to the end as a length, so that is longer than this one. This one is the second-hand research of the Hong Kong area. We can see here has some different bad behavior and habits for the user when using the toilet. Someone never flushed after using the toilet, and someone forget to wash their hands with soap. And here has many things may cause some bad consequence. So it's a big problem. We need to solve that. Then we divided it into 3 different groups. Each group has a topic. The first one is the public daily toilet. It's a very general problem for many ladies. They don't want to touch anything about the toilet. They don't want to touch the door, the lock, the seat. So sometimes they just use their knee to support their body. It's very difficult to persist. And they just use the paper tissue to put that in the seat before they sit down. After a series of observations, we got 3 main problems. The first one is about the lock. Many people don't want to touch the lock, and so sometimes when other people want to come in, there will some embarrassing things happen. And next thing is about the paper tissue. If we just put a lot of paper tissue on the seat, that will cause a waste. And last thing is about sometimes we just put our smartphone or something else on the toilet, but when we go out, we maybe forgot to carry that. This page mentions some new problems, for example, the toilet splash, and sometimes people refuse to use the paper exposed outside the boxes. It also causes waste. The second group of tests is about the public toilets of the elder people. Here are some problems. The first one is that sometimes lacks of the body support may lead the elderly to fall down and get injured. The next problem is when they use the tissue paper, they're hard to use that on the back side, but on the front side. But if they use that on the front side, it has a very limited spaces, so it's very hard to move. The next problem is about the toilet ring, which is very small, too small to hold, and so that it's not good for there to use. The last problem is about when they press the button to flush the toilet, and here it's very inconvenient and easy to get injured. We also do some further tests about the measurement and calculation. The first one is to calculate the time span of the elder people to sit down. We just collect that data and compare them together. The next one is the position of the ring when the elder people just get up. And so we just make the critical areas in this picture we can see. So that could be a more critical area than the other places. We also found some new problems. The first one is about the old man's crutch has nowhere to lean on, and another is sometimes the elderly people are not familiar with the environment, so they are not able to operate the door lock. The last test is about the problems of people who play the smartphone, especially for some teenagers. So here has a whole general scenarios about when people play the phone and finally get the constipation. It's really a bad thing. We made a control experiment about 6 users if they play the phone or not play the phone. So the results shows that the time span of people who play the phone is about 7 to 8% longer than the people who don't play the phone. But it's not a big difference, so it's just like a secondary problem. We will not solve that immediately. We also test the flush the toilet. If people open the toilet lid or cover the toilet lid, the results shows that only 2 of them cover the toilet lid and 10 of them just open the toilet lid. So that could be a very important issue because it caused the bacterial overflow. After integrating our researches and tests, we got 3 main problems. The first one is the people who don't want to touch anything about the toilet. And the next one is about it's hard for the elder people to move their body when they use the toilet. The last one is somebody haven't covered the toilet lid when they flush the toilet. So those could be the design opportunities for us. Thank you for watching.